This is a re-upload. Apparently, a train channel didn't dig the way I used their clip. Maybe if I send them some flowers or something, they won't be so angry at me. I'm not a bad guy. As proof, here I am with a baby. Here's my dog in her Christmas blankie. Okay, back to the video. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we'd talk about something a little bit different. Well, not really different. We talk about travel here all the time, but let's talk about a mode of traveling. The train. Now, I know a lot of you just groaned, and that's fine. The train isn't for everyone, and there's a lot of different ways to ride the train. If you're riding out there in the coach section where you just have a chair and that's it, yeah, it's not the best. When I travel the train, I use the sleeping car thing. It's a little more expensive, but I like it. Now, everyone knows there is a train, and Amtrak is the train we have here in the United States, but not a lot of people know much about Amtrak. Amtrak only came into existence in 1971. That was 10 years after they had this report called the Doyle Report. Before the Doyle Report and before they made Amtrak, there was all these different regional train systems, and a lot of them were going under and a lot of them were struggling because the heyday of train travel had been over since the 50s. When we started getting cross-country flights, Pan Am and whoever, it kind of killed the train. The train used to, the main way to get people across the country back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and even before that. So the train had been dying out, and this Doyle Report said that they should pool all their resources, just turn it into one national train system, and it might be profitable. So they did that. It was profitable for a while, but the government still has to subsidize it. These days, the train is mostly used for short regional places like DC to New York City, Philadelphia to DC, Chicago to Cleveland. People really don't take it across country that often anymore. I have on a couple occasions. And then, you also have the people in the Midwest that go from stop to stop in like Iowa and Kansas. They have relatives all over the state and the train runs right through the middle. So relatives pick you up at the next stop. I've met a couple people that were doing that and they like it. And it serves a purpose. The other people it serves a purpose for, believe it or not, are the Amish. The Amish won't fly in a plane. They don't take cars. How are they going to get across the country if they need to? They're not going to drive that little horse and buggy thing. I see them on the train on a regular basis. Side note, at lunch, they really don't like to talk to you too much. I don't know. Probably because I'm English. That's what they told me one time. I was English. I'm American, not English, but they refer to us as English. Anyway, moving on. So I thought I'd make this video about my last trip, show you some of the footage, and tell you some things that you need to know about the train before you decide to get a sleeping car and maybe go across the country. So why don't we get going? Here's my top 10 things you should know before you get on the Amtrak. Number 10. The couch is nice, in your room, but it gets boring after a while. You gotta get up and move around the train, and that's one good thing they have versus, say, an airplane or driving. You can actually be looking out the window, and if you get bored, you go down to one of the other cars, talk to some people, do whatever, go to the snack bar, things like that. But sitting in the room, even though you have your own room, it gets a little boring, and that couch gets a little uncomfortable, so you end up laying down a lot of time. That's the biggest bonus of having a sleeping room. You're not sitting up in a chair all day or lean back in a chair. You can actually lay out the bed and go to sleep in the middle of the afternoon, shut your door and lock it. That's kind of cool. But you should just know it's okay to get out and wander around the train. Number 9. The bathrooms are a tight fit. Really a tight fit. I mean, imagine a construction site outhouse and then shrink it in about 2 feet. That's how tight their restrooms are. I'm not a giant man, but I'm definitely not small. I'm 5'9", I weigh about 220 pounds. I'm kind of thick. My shoulders almost rub the walls when I'm in the restroom, standing or sitting. So it's a tight fit. Be prepared for that. Number 8. They will leave you. Sometimes they stop at places, they tell you it's okay to get off, and sometimes they might have a little store right there or something like that. They will blast the horn, and you will hear a guy say, "All aboard." If you miss that train, they're not coming back for you. They're not stopping for you. They're going to keep going. I was on one train one time, and an older gentleman had been left behind. They stopped for him because he had a medical issue, and his wife on the train still had his medication. So they stopped, he grabbed a cab, and caught up with us down the road. We had to sit there for about a half hour. It kind of sucked. But most of the time, 99.9% of the time, they will leave you, and you got to wait till the next train comes, and it's usually the next day. So that means hotel room, everything else, and you may be stuck in the middle of North Dakota. Number 7, Power outlets. If you do get one of these rooms, they only have one power outlet. Meaning if you've got a cell phone, a computer, and everything else like that, make sure you bring some kind of strip. I have this little one, which I don't have with me right now, that lets you plug 3 things. I plug it into one, it splits off into 3. I keep that in my camera bag if I'm going to take the train. That helps me keep my phone charged, my computer charged, my tablet charged if I need that. They're a little short on power outlets. They need to update it a little bit, I think. Number 6, you're stuck with people. You are stuck with people for the entirety of your trip. Sometimes you're stuck with them for like 2 days. If you're going across country, you could literally be stuck with the same people for 2 days straight. You're seeing them at dinner, you're seeing them walk around the train. Luckily, they're not in your room with you. But this is great if they're nice people. I've had one trip where there was this guy that was a total idiot. Complete idiot. He was annoying. He might have thought the same thing about me. I may have been that person to other people, but that's the risk you have. You're stuck on a train with people for 2-3 days at a time if you're going across country. And if they happen to be an a-hole, that's kind of it. You got to learn to avoid them. And when there's one path going through the train, it's not like you can go around to avoid them. You're going to see them. And if they're one of those talkative types, they're going to try and stop you to talk to you. It's horrible. Number 5, the food is expensive. Yes, so if you get the room, like if you have a sleeping car room, you get the food for free. Like they have steaks, everything. It's better than airline food, absolutely. It's better than cafeteria food. You know, it's not some nice steakhouse, but they have good things, breakfast, pancakes, omelets, things like that. It's pre-made and they heat it up. It's decent food. But if you don't get the sleeping car, you have to pay for your food. And that steak's gonna be like 20-something bucks. Breakfast is going to be like $9. So if you're taking coach, you're probably on a budget already. Then to go to the dining car, it's going to really stretch your budget a little bit. So it's kind of nice. That's one bonus to having even the smallest of the sleeping cars, which is called a roomette. I'll show a picture right here. That's basically like having 2 coach seats face to face and you can close a door on them. But they lay down to a bed later on at night, so that's kind of nice. Even if you get one of those small rooms, you get your food for free. So 3 meals a day, it's kind of nice because it could add up. But I don't know, it's just a better deal than riding coach, my opinion, if you're going all the way across country or overnight at least. Number 4, the middle of the country sucks. If you're going across country, whether you're taking the Empire Builder, which is the one that goes up through North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, places like that, get on in Chicago or Minnesota and start going across country. When you leave Minnesota and you get to North Dakota and pretty much all of Montana till you get to the western side, it is just flat and it is boring. So the middle of the trip sucks. Same thing that goes for the California Zephyr that goes from Chicago down to Sacramento, California. You're going to hit Nebraska, you're going to hit Iowa, and most of Colorado sucks. The payoff for both of them, once you get to Montana on the Empire Builder, it's beautiful. I have some footage here of that. Finally, some hills. It's been flat for like 8 hours. And then when you take the California Zephyr that goes through the Kansas and all that, Iowa and Nebraska, when you get to the western or the middle of Colorado, the western section of it is beautiful, even into Utah and some of Nevada. It's beautiful. Now that one also, when you leave Reno, Nevada to get to Sacramento, beautiful and amazing. That one's worth it. That first day on each of those trains sucks. It's nothing to look at. Number 3, they have a snack bar. Now this is something you should be warned about. The snack bar is nice to have there. They have nothing on there that is remotely healthy. Nothing at all. In case you ever want to know where that is, the snack bar, because they really kind of explain it to you, but you really don't know. They say it's in the middle of the train. When you get to the observation car, which has big windows and seats facing the window, right in the middle of that car is a set of stairs. It's almost hidden. You got to be looking for it. Set of stairs that go down. right there at the bottom underneath the observation deck is the snack bar. Usually you walk down the bottom of the stairs, turn right, you see someone standing there. They announce when they're going on break or when they're shutting down for the night, so just be listening to those things. You get announcements all the time during your trip. But the snack bar is nothing remotely healthy. They do sell beer, wine, and some mixed drinks, oddly enough. Show ID, pay for it. Can be a little expensive for drinks, but still. You're on a moving train going across the country. It's like a Little League snack shack with beer and mixed drinks. They do cut people off pretty quick. I was on one train where some dude got a little drunk. I think he had his own beer with him or something like that. And, you know, I mean, it was like going to a Little League game with my dad. My dad always had beer at Little League games. Don't ask me why. Number 2, showering. Okay, so if you have a sleeping car, you get to take showers. Either you have it in your room, like the last one I did, or you have one on the car that, you know, there's maybe 10 people using it, so you just take turns. And no, hardly anyone ever takes a shower there for some reason. I do every single time. Most people don't. I think they should. But when I've been on there, it's a tight fit. Much like the restrooms, it's a tight fit. And if you take the car like I took last time, where you have the sleeping room with the shower in it, well, the shower is also your restroom. So it's best just to put down the seat on the toilet or put down the cover and shower while you're sitting down, because that train moves and nothing like busting out the door and you got nothing on or something like that. And as you're pulling into Chicago or something, your window's open, there you are. Nobody needs to see that, especially at this age. I mean, the moneymaker's been gone for years, so you know what I mean. So it's a tight fit too, but you can take showers, so that's a plus. Just know that this isn't some day spa where you have a nice shower and a steam room, and you got to kind of conserve the water too. So some of them you have to push it, and the water runs for about a minute and then shuts off, and you got to push it again, that type thing. But it's warm, it's nice, it's a shower. You can go to bed clean. And number 1. Probably the biggest complaint that I have about it, and I think they could fix eventually, is no service. Your phone will have no service for most of the trip, no Wi-Fi, anything like that. These days, you think they could fix it. If they want to get people on the train, which that's something they want to do, I would try and upgrade the Wi-Fi system. I mean, it's nice to upgrade the tracks and stuff like that for safety, and I understand that, but if you want to put people on the train, get some Wi-Fi, get some more cell service around there, anything, because you'll get whole areas where there is no service for like an hour. These days, people need to be connected. In reality, it's kind of relaxing not to. I got some work done, you know, anything I could do, like editing video and color correcting pictures and things like that. That was great. I do that on the train all the time. But if I had to get connected to the internet, no, it's hit or miss at best. And if you do finally get some internet connection, it's usually gone before you made your call or send a text or two. It's horrible. That's one thing they should fix, and that would get people on the train a lot more. I promise them. I promise you, Amtrak, I could fix all your problems. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just going through my experience. Just kidding. So yeah, your service, you're not going to have much, so just be ready for that. Download some films on Netflix. They let you download them now, or Amazon Prime, or whatever you have. Have them loaded onto your tablet, your computer, because you're not going to be able to do that while you're on the train. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that's my top 10 things you should know before you jump on an Amtrak. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. I encourage everyone to, at least once in this life, at least go through the Rockies on the train. If you're looking for a nice vacation, a nice getaway type thing, get on the train in Denver. This is the best trip you could take. Get on a plane to Denver, get on the train, go through the Rockies in a sleeper car, and get off someplace around Reno, Nevada. That's a great trip. Fly home, hang out in Reno, whatever you want to do. The Amtrak is a lot of fun. Even if you got kids, people enjoy it. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other. Here we go.